Joining us now is the inspiration and creator of this whole event of Concerts for Democracy. Welcome to the show, Eljuri.
Oh my God, it's great to be here, Phil. It's a very critical year, and so we're launching this whole concert series, Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, and we're very, very excited. We've already had a couple of events already, one in Chicago and one in upstate New York.
Yeah. And we're definitely going to get into all that. But right now, what we've got kind of playing in the underground here is your brand new single, a nice little dance version of one of your great hits.
Yes, we connected with a Peruvian band called Nova Lima, and we we fell in love with each other, and we wanted to launch a new single that makes sense for this concert series. And
Sure.
La Voz is about using your voice, so we thought a dance remix of the song would be great. It was just released a couple of weeks ago, so
That's so great.
hot off the presses.
Yeah. And I heard too, like I was reading up on it a little bit, where like there's very much a DJ culture there, where it leads into the nightlife and the dancing and the dance of the culture. I mean, like it's such a different thing than maybe what most of us have here, and it's a powerful voice that they have right through all of that.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in Ecuador, but Ecuador is where I was born, and Peru is right next door. And when growing up, I'd go to Ecuador. My cousins, all the male cousins, danced incredibly well.
Right.
And then I come back to New York, and it was like a lot of guys weren't dancing. It was
Right.
very culturally different. But now I think it's pretty dancing.
It's getting better.
Is pretty great.
Yeah. And that's for maybe some people who aren't as familiar with your music, even though you've been on our show a bunch of times and you're very well known. Let's just kind of take it back a little bit. Like you had said, born in Ecuador, raised in Manhattan. I always love this phrase that you taught me, a Latin from Manhattan.
I am a Latin from Manhattan. That's right.
And kind of went through the punk scene almost, like a total rock and roller, and through the years have just really grabbed your voice and used your music to really kind of express awareness and concern for things in society, even, again, taking on the title of artivist, where it's an activist artist kind of thing, and it's just so inspiring and wonderful. So I wanted to give you a moment to kind of just talk about your history, and before we get to kind of what this is about, like just that backstory of how you got to here.
I really appreciate that. I did grow up in New York City, and the music scene was hopping here, and it was a great scene, and so I embraced that, and that's where my rock, reggae, punk, and all those influences happened. But at home, we were listening to Afro-Cuban music and rumba flamenco and pasillos and all this music my parents listened to. My mother's a musician and my father's an actor, so they were really creative blend. But then I was looked up to all those CBGB's bands, and so I be a rocker and had a lot of bands. And then I went solo, and kind of the fusion of both those influences became my sound.
Sure.
As a solo artist, yes, and Hootie for albums later. Here we are.
Yeah, and I think there was this wonderful crossroads moment where you wanted to sing more in Spanish, and here came a label that wanted you to sing more in Spanish.
Yes, it was and I realized that the songs dictate which language is better suited for it when I'm writing. So it's just a great language to sing in, and being I've been called a rock star humanitarian. So there's that socially conscious stuff that I have to sing about. It just comes out. I look at Bob Marley, I look at Marvin Gaye, I look at Bob Dylan. The great examples of heroes that have done that before me. So I'm thrilled to use my voice in that way too.
Yeah, and I think one thing I was always almost overwhelmed on your behalf of how many extremely important topics you picked up, because there's coming back from war with PTSD and drug abuse and gun violence, which we'll get into a little bit more because we want to feature that song. There's refugees. There's saving the planet. Like, there's all these things that are all so important. And then you came up with this brilliant idea to say, hey, listen, whatever one of these topics, whatever one of these, issues might be important to one of these audience members, the most important thing they could do is vote.
Exactly. I really want to inspire people to use their voice
Yeah.
for things that matter to them and to seek representation or be the representative.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's right.
really, that would be great. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Latino community is just part of the people I'm trying to reach, of course, not, because I sing in English and Spanish and I'm in
Sure.
the US. But like you said, we decided, because I have a whole team that is very supportive. We decided to focus on the US this year because what better way to use your voice than through your vote, through
Sure.
the vote, and in
Yeah.
this very critical year where democracy is at stake.
Sure. No, it certainly is. And you've taken a very nonpartisan, approach to this.
Yep.
So no one
Perfect.
should feel like this is any one-sided thing. It's purely just the encouragement for people to make sure they're registered. And if you're not, very easy ways to get there. Part of your events, you can do it there. And if maybe you can't make it to one of the concerts for democracy, we'll share in our notes the different ways that you can do it. The deadlines are different by state, so knowing that. And then the next step of those issues that are important to you, know your candidates. Like, don't just vote party line, or
No,
don't just understand where each candidate stands on these various issues. It might be neither of them, or the one you maybe weren't thinking. So really getting to know your candidates and then knowing your polling place, because sometimes it's not the one you thought it was. It might have changed from last time. So really just doing all your kind of front end work to make sure that none of that gets in the way of you having your vote be cast.
Exacto, and empower yourself and know that every voice does count. Tu voz es tu poder. Your voice is your power. And there's a lot of elections that we're talking about how to use your voice. It's local level, at the state level, at the federal level. And I came from South America where there's a lot of political instability. So I recognize how valuable it is to have this, how valuable our democracy is in this country. So I really highly respect that. I'm an immigrant, so I did become a citizen driven by the passion to vote. So
sure, absolutely.
We're going to have registration materials at all our events in English and Spanish, which like you said is really important, and hopefully answer any questions and encourage people to use their great voices.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you had put together this really cool short video of what Concerts for Democracy is all about and what people can expect. So let's let this kind of tell some of the story as well.
Cool. Hola, my name is Cecilia Villar Eljuri. As an artist, I'm known as Eljuri. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and activist. My music is a blend of Latin, reggae, global fusions with rock and funk. I was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador, in South America, and raised in New York City, so my music is a reflection of all of that. My lyrics are socially conscious about finding and using your voice and fighting for civil liberties, fighting against injustices. With this very important election year in 2024, I launched this concert series called Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, Amplifying Voices for Social Change. It's a live concert series of me with my power trio, and we're performing free concerts throughout the US. And at each concert, we're gonna have a registration table so people can find registration materials for voting in English and in Spanish. We have partnered with wonderful national voting organizations, in particular headcount.org, that will be present at all the concerts with all these incredible materials, answering questions that you might have. And then this is the way to use your voice this year. Tu voz es tu poder. It's particularly important where democracy is truly at stake. I really believe that. And everybody has the power to vote. We just want to make it more accessible and inspire people through the gathering of music and sharing that energy and positivity. Eljuri Conciertos por la Democracia, amplificando voces para cambio social.
Such a great video to kind of give people the sense of what's happening there. Thank you so much for putting that together. And I think some of that video is stuff that I captured at Music Fest.
I think so too.
So yes, I'm honored to have that in there.
My attachment to Bethlehem, it's such a great community there. And and you feel empower. You do feel the power of music connecting everybody.
Totally.
That's it's an international language.
Yeah, for sure. So where did maybe so again it might be just as simple as well, duh, that's the most important thing. But like, where did the inspiration come to maybe pull this together and make it about voting and voter registration?
I just felt early on in the year we went to Europe last year and toured, and then I was like, oh, it's time to maybe write a new record. But then I was like, always as usual, it's discussions, it's news forums, and everything else that inspire my songs or this idea. So then there's a group of us got together, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe we can get develop this whole plan. We'll get partners with organizations, we'll get partners with voting orgs, with supportive organizations for like the communities at a community level, and we'll get presenters who are interested in engaging in this concept. And then it just came together in like January, February, and we just got a bunch of volunteers, and we've been meeting regularly.
Sure.
Support the effort. It's not just Monoville Records, but extends beyond that. And
That's
these
so cool.
we develop partners who, with Head Count, Spread the Vote, Every Vote Counts. These are voting organizations. And then we connected with important local community organizations like A True Love Story and Inkwell and Allentown, and Círculo de la Hispanidad that we're doing a show this Saturday at, and we just played up at Latinx Festival in Chicago.
Yes, that's right.
It's like it was amazing how many people really thought, oh, this is a good idea. Bring the registration materials to the people through the power of music. Yeah,
and encourage them to. There's a lot of people who maybe don't think their voice is going to be heard, so maybe they just need that little bit of encouragement to say, no, this is a big deal.
Yes.
And if language was the barrier, you're breaking that one down too. So I think that's really admirable for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mil gracias.
But
I know that the Latino community can be feel marginalized and not feel empowered. So I thought, how can I use my voice, my bilingual voice, towards greater good for change? And that's part of the Eljuri Concerts for Democracy, amplificando voces para cambios sociales, amplifying voices for social change. So it's a whole thing. Yeah.
So let's bring in a little bit of your music so that people again can kind of get a flavor for that. Once again, you mentioned it in there. We haven't said it here yet, but we've said it throughout the evening. It's a free show. So on Saturday, October the 5th, you've heard it a lot tonight, at Inkwell in downtown Allentown. And the parking is not an issue here. Kyle's done a great job about making sure to navigate that. So let's make parking an issue. Let's make so many people come down that that we have to find places to park. But anyway, it's going to be a great night, and it is a free show. And so let's give people
1125 Hamilton Street is Inkwell and Kyle. We're like really connecting, and we're through music and art. We're going to have an amazing event.
Absolutely. So let's bring in some of your music. They can hear that. And then this particular song, I want you to lead, maybe give it a little bit of an intro. It's called Bang Bang, and it is about the gun violence topic in this country. Yeah,
the gun violence crisis is a big deal. And I wrote this song in like 2015, 2016. We released it with my album. And it's really about how we need to shed light on the topic. And at the time it was a crisis, and now it continues to be a mounting crisis.
Somehow we keep
gun violence
going backwards on this one. But here, let's let this song play out a little bit. Then I'll bring it down and we can talk over it. But what I love about this one is it also gets people to see how you just shred the guitar. So
thank you. And it's my reggae influence.
Absolutely, yeah. So here's Bang Bang by Eljuri.
Oscuridad con la luna llena de claridad, claridad, claridad. Somebody yelling, don't shoot me. Bang, bang. Somebody yelling, too many yelling. Bang, bang, shoot 'em up.
So this again is like you were saying, it's that bilingual is on display here, and such again, like we said, this might be the most important topic for you. It might be a different one, but not only do you all the issues are out there, you have other songs that address these other issues. The important thing here is there's probably something that you're passionate about. Figure that out. Figure out what candidates support that and vote for that person. Like that's really what the spirit of this event is about.
Exactly. That's
So we should also mention Alex Alexander on the drums here is just such an incredible drummer. His goofiness is on display in that other video, which I love. Having had the honor to meet him and you and such at like after shows and whatnot, you're going to be there at this event and the Power Trio. This is not the bassist, but you're there too to also be accessible to the people who are there that evening.
Absolutely. I'm a headcount ambassador, so the whole goal is really to take the fear away, or the confusion away, or like you said, hopefully inspire people or get clarity on whether you're even registered and make it fun.
Yeah.
Because using your voice should be fun and uplifting, and at the same time, we are really hopefully tackling a very critical issue of democracy.
Yeah, I think the evening should feel like a celebration of the community. Like it really should feel that way, where even if there isn't necessarily complete agreement on who the right candidates are, that's okay. Like as long as we're respectful and meeting, compromising in the middle and whatnot. Like I think it's what it's going to be all about.
Exactly. Like stop the polarization. We're reversing the polarization that we're feeling in this country.
Right.
And embracing the fact that we are make different, but like you said, seek representation, because everybody you elect votes for you. I mean, works for you.
Right.
People have to remember we're hiring these people to do their jobs. So.
Right, and also I think the other part too is that the Kyle has this expression for that that space is all are welcome at the well. So this isn't about anyone's perspective or ideology. This is about community coming together and being Americans first, rather than one label or another. Like,
yeah, it was like we really clicked and connected when we were talking about the community there and that whole part of Allentown and everything.
Yep.
And it just was like a runaway train. We were like, we're doing this, and I'm grateful actually to you and your team for making it all helping us make it happen too.
Oh, the least I could do is connect two amazing people to do all the amazing stuff. That's the easy one. You are all doing, amazing stuff on within Allentown and you everywhere. But I'm going to bring in you.
At that show, it's me, Eljuri, and Alex Alexander on drums, and Winston Roy on bass, who's now been with me for like 8 years or something. So he's on the last album, the entire album, Reflexion, and he's a great player. He's great. It
is. Yeah, it's going to be. The music is amazing. The theming is amazing. Definitely come down. From what I hear, there's going to be food trucks. So again, it's going to be this really special thing, all free, and just come down and enjoy that. And if nothing else, be part of that community and learn how to. I'm going to bring in your Elvaz so that we can. First of all, get a little dancier beat on here at the end. La Voce. And what else can we promote? Like, where else is this show going?
To get a better sense of all the tour dates, you can go to eljurimusic.com /tour, the tour tab under Eljuri Music, ELJURI Sic.com. That's where. And actually join the mailing list or whatever you want to do to keep in touch with
totally. Yeah, because obviously this is this moment in time, but the concerts and the music and the passion is there forever. So like even after October and voting happens in November, still follow Eljuri because it's amazing music and you'll be passionate about another social topic.
We love playing in Bethlehem and Allentown. We love that whole community. We've had a couple of years of playing it and Steel Stacks and Music Fest, and really the people are amazing, and it all boils down to people.
Yep.
And their energy. So
Well, Eljuri, thank you for all that you're doing for this. Thank you for coming on the show tonight, and can't wait to see you perform this weekend.
Thanks for having me on. You're the best.
No, you're the best.
No, you are. Peace.